There are a lot of problems with multiplayer games. There's always talk around them. You either love multiplayer games or hate them. Maybe it's the only games you play or the only games you avoid. For many, it's a great way to test your skills against others or having a fun time messing around with your friends. From our fondest memories with those very people to the despicable situation of microtransactions in every single game. We each play multiplayer games for a variety of reasons. However, for trophy hunters like myself, there's a problem that occurs when single-player games have a multiplayer mode. There are games I don't touch simply because of one reason: they have multiplayer trophies. There are games that do it well, like It Takes Two, which is built around multiplayer co-op, and Ghost of Tsushima, which I'll explain more later on. But also games that don't do it well, like Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us Remastered, both for very similar reasons. Single-player games that have an added-on multiplayer mode. The difference as to why one is done well and the others not so much is in the form of the Platinum Trophy requirements. A Platinum Trophy is obtained after achieving all of the other trophies in the game. It's the PlayStation counterpart to Xbox Gamerscore or Steam achievements. And DLC is not included in the requirement for the Platinum Trophy, unlike our Xbox and Steam friends who need to 100% a game. Trophies or achievements are often awarded for completing the story or finding various collectibles. But when the developers choose to add trophies for their multiplayer next to their single player, it becomes something different. I asked you guys which trophies you hate the most, and the vast majority of you voted for multiplayer trophies. And with good reason too. Requirements can range from reaching level 50 to getting 5 wins in a row or getting 2500 kills with a single weapon. These can be a fun challenge for some, and others might even get it naturally when playing, and this is the way it's meant to be achieved. Casually having fun and getting a trophy to show off your hard work for it. But for the people that specifically want to get that Platinum Trophy, it often becomes a chore. A different game. The multiplayer aspect of that game is entirely different to the single player. Well, of course, it has to be different to separate itself from the main game, but it's often just an aspect that has been thrown into the game to add another level of replayability to the game. There's no true goal at the end for those players and nothing really to grind for, meaning it's just an added element there for more content, where in some cases the developers only spent a fraction of their time and resources on it. It's unfair to call this out for every game, and a lot of dedicated multiplayer only games are great in their own way, but they also have their fair share of problems. Because if you know that you're going to be playing solely multiplayer when buying the game, it doesn't always hold up that well. I've wanted to platinum a Far Cry game for some time now. They look interesting and fun and lots of people love them. But when I took a look at the trophy list, I noticed something that I don't like to see: multiplayer trophies. And it's immediately a massive turnoff. Like, I don't even consider it. Ignorant maybe, but Far Cry, at least in my eyes, even having never played it before, is a single player game. And I see the multiplayer as a fun add-on that provides some fun co-op moments or additional content for players to explore. But for me, it's a reason to not buy and play the game. Because I know that I will have to find another player on some forum to help me boost those online trophies. When I'm looking for a new game to platinum, I have to check the amount of active players to know if the online is even playable. Even if there's still a few servers up and running, chances are that the only players still playing are players that have never left the online. They've been playing for as long as possible, know all the strategies, tactics and angles, and will destroy you in seconds. The Last of Us Remastered and Uncharted 4 are both perfect examples. There's a small community of dedicated players to the online, and they have mastered that game. For those new players, however, that just want to unlock a few trophies, it creates an extremely difficult barrier to push through. In a similar way, it's how I platinumed GTA 5 a few months ago. It was on my list to platinum for years, and I finally put myself through to get it. I started with the single player and 100% completed that in around 80 hours or so. Lots of replaying missions for gold medals and scouring the map for various collectibles. But then it was time to tackle the online. I had seen and heard about the state of GTA Online gameplay, but to be honest, I had hardly played GTA Online over those years. I just never had an interest in it and had tons of other games I wanted to play. I believe I was only level 27 when I logged back in again, and I had no clue what to do, buy or play, but I just went with it. I was extremely overwhelmed by the amount of things in the game: races, heists, missions, customization, properties, and so many other things. So I checked the trophy guide to see what the best way to level up quickly was. I knew that there were two trophies that I needed to put my focus towards. Those were reaching level 100 and numero uno. Reaching level 100 was going to take a while, but should be fairly straightforward. Numero uno, however, required me to get first place in all game types, and I knew that wasn't going to be easy. Because first of all, nobody ever plays any of these game modes other than races anymore. Sure, you'll find the occasional parachute race or heist or whatever, but having to not only find a game, but then also finish first, how was I ever going to do that? So a solution that trophy hunters have long ago come up with is boosting trophies. I went onto a popular trophy hunting website and created a session for others to join so that we can work together and boost some trophies. I had to do this because nobody that played GTA 5 normally was going to join a rally race with one other person. That's why me and 3 others from the website went on to create a lobby and each win a rally race one by one. Was the trophy ever meant to be obtained this way? Surely Rockstar didn't want people to boost themselves into winning races. But what other option did we have? It was impossible to find a full lobby to get this trophy, partly because the game was already 10 years old, meaning there are hardly ever any new players, but also because the requirement is really difficult to earn legitimately. Yeah, they might have wanted the requirement to be difficult, but it's almost impossible to do with empty servers. Yet even when the servers are full and populated, games like Need for Speed or Call of Duty require a subscription of PlayStation Plus to play online, which is an entirely different topic, but why are they needed for online? Okay, well, I understand why, but make it a reason for people to play online. For people that primarily play single player games and might occasionally want to try a game that has a multiplayer, not only do they need to purchase that game for X amount of money, but also sign up for a subscription service. All that just to play a game to its full potential and get a few trophies for a game you might like. It creates a barrier between players that want to try and experience as many games as possible and casual players that hop on every so often. You and me probably both own PlayStation Plus regardless and don't even think about it when playing online. But it's a really annoying hindrance for a lot of casual trophy hunters and players in general. Another problem with multiplayer is the reliance on other players. I bought Battlefield 2042 at launch when people were still playing the game. One of the trophies was to play a half-arsed extraction-based game mode called Hazard Zone. You had to extract 25 times, but also once without any of the squad having died. A squad is made up of you and 3 others, meaning if you're doing this solo, you're left with 3 randoms. Now I can hold my own pretty well in FPS games, but when my skill is dependent on randoms with no mic, skill, awareness, or even a clue of what they're doing, it's not going to end well. The trophy I want to earn is therefore in the hands of randoms. Not only the randoms in my squad, but also randoms in the lobby. Even if I kill the majority of players in the lobby or manage to evade from enemy gunfire, I can still run into them sweaty TTV players and get mauled down. And at that point I guess it's just a skill issue, right? Although it may sound so, I personally don't mind multiplayer games all that much. I actually quite enjoy them. I play them all the time, with friends or alone, competitively or for fun, but what I realized is that I hardly play them to trophy hunt. An example is that I only need 2 more trophies to get the Rainbow Six Siege Platinum. I've already got the trophy to reach a certain rank and leveled up far enough to level 50. However, the 2 trophies that I need are for winning a round with every operator and 5 flawless victories. Both are almost inevitable when playing it normally, however for trophy hunting it becomes a pain because of the easiness to fail. Winning 1 round is fairly easy, however because of the ban system in the game, the one I likely need, and there's no way to track which one, is almost always banned. How am I meant to do it then? And 5 flawless victories? Great. But because of the way the Rainbow Six Siege meta, maps and operators change so drastically every so often, for someone who occasionally hops in like myself, it's extremely overwhelming to get back into. And that I not only need to rely on my own skill to hold up, but also my teammates to be good enough and the enemy to not destroy me. Because if we lose that first round, then there's no more reason for me to play anymore. And in Red Dead Redemption 2, I only did the multiplayer because it was necessary. The online was just an afterthought and has hardly gotten better since launching in 2018. 1 trophy required me to reach level 50 in online, and I didn't play the game naturally to get it. No, I abused the best way to level up quickly by collecting things around the map. I'm sure that's not the intended way the game is meant to be played. I don't want to play like that, but when it's not fun or doable in any other way, you resort to doing it the easiest and fastest way possible. Developers don't only change the meta or bring changes to the game, they also very much influence our behavior inside of them. Remember when Fortnite was at its peak with a battle pass and new challenges introduced every week? when one of those challenges was to visit a specific point of interest to gain some extra progress to the next battle pass level, every single person in that lobby went there. It's the same with trophies. If I am required to get 10 kills with the shield, I'll be playing like that until I get the trophy, and so will tens of others. I am not helping my team win, I am not contributing to anything for anyone else. In fact, all I'm doing is sabotaging my own team by playing like a noob. I'm ruining the experience of others around me by going for a trophy. Quite frankly, it can be fun to do and is a challenge on its own, but it just doesn't help or benefit anyone else except me. It's all a part of the things I dislike about multiplayer games. That's why I now play Apex or GTA Online to just enjoy something other than trophy hunting for a bit. And as weird as it sounds, it's a time to relax. And I must play these games now, for trophies or not, because in a few years' time, the servers will go down. In a poll I held about asking what part of online trophies you hate the most, the majority voted for dead servers, where we can't play them anymore because they went offline. We've seen it happen with Need for Speed, GTA 5 Online on the PlayStation 3, and more recently Killzone servers were terminated. And that's a real shame because those trophies for online and the platinum in general are now unobtainable, locked away forever, impossible to get. Yet we can't blame the developers for taking down those servers when no one ever plays them anymore. But they can change the way online trophies are integrated for platinums. One option would be to make multiplayer have AI integrated into the multiplayer. Having AI fill in the races or matches when you're playing online can make all of the difference. Rocket League has it in their matches, Battlefield 2042 apparently already knew their game was going to be dead on arrival and implemented them from the get-go, and races always have AI in their single player. So why not fill those empty spots in servers with AI and make multiplayer games stay alive? It would add longevity to those games, create more opportunities for players to experience online, even in a different intended manner, and keep players coming back just to get a few trophies. To disclaim, I'm not a developer, I have no clue how easy this would be to implement, but it would be a real positive for all of the players. But the best way to do this by far is to make those trophies part of the DLC trophies. Simply by not making them part of the main game, developers can not only make the game more attractive, but also gain new players to try their game. Ghost of Tsushima did this perfectly. The main game only has single player trophies, but if you're a completionist and like to 100% games, you can go that extra mile and do the multiplayer trophies that are part of a DLC. I tried the multiplayer, realized it took too long and wasn't to my liking, and then just left it there. But I still got the platinum trophy. And as I mentioned, when those servers inevitably go down in later years, this platinum will still be obtainable. It's super easy to do and solves a major problem with trophy hunting. And what we have seen recently is Xbox actually removing unobtainable achievements from the trophy list. The game Homestead Arcana had a trophy that was actually unobtainable because it wouldn't track a certain object. And in an unprecedented move, Xbox removed the achievement entirely. They redistributed the gamer score to other achievements and have made it possible to 100% again. Usually unobtainable trophies get fixed or patched by the developers, but this is something very unique where Xbox changed it. Hopefully this is a change that PlayStation and Steam take notice of and do so themselves, because when those multiplayer servers go down, they also become completely unobtainable. So it's not all a doomed scenario because changes are being made. Yet it's important to remember why we play these multiplayer games. Games like Overcooked are only fun and chaotic because they are multiplayer. You simply wouldn't get the same laughs and funny moments from them if those were just bots or doing it in an actual coordinated fashion. It's meant to be played with others for fun times, but when you have no friends, no servers or zero skill, these select few trophies can quite literally be the reason to not buy or try a game. Or a great game that you had a blast with will be overshadowed because of one stupid online trophy that deteriorated your entire experience. I truly love my multiplayer games, but when they are a necessity for a platinum trophy, I get quite a bit less excited.